I thought I'd show you how to make my beetroot Skordhalia. It's really lovely to have as a dip when you've got friends around, to be part of a charcuterie plate, or just on its own, just with a packet of crackers to sit and eat while you're watching the telly. I'm going to start it tonight because I want it cold so that when I'm ready to make it tomorrow it'll be cooked and ready to go. So I've lightly sprayed my oven tray. I've cut up a small onion. The more cuts you have on your beetroot, the more roasted the flavour. The more edges you have, the more roasted it's going to taste. And you want a nice roast when you've got a Skordhalia. You want to really bring out that flavour of the beetroot. Now I'm going to go and pick some thyme, and some sage, and I'm going to lay those over the tray while I'm waiting for my oven to heat up. Well, that was disappointing. I went out to get some sage leaves and my plant is bare for winter, so I had to sprinkle it with sage, ground sage, out of my spice rack. Got my thyme, and I've put some oregano in to compensate for the fact that I haven't got fresh sage. So I'll pop that into the oven and start cooking it for about 30 minutes at 200 degrees or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll see how they look then. I want them to start getting that burnt edge on the tips. So I've just pulled the veggies out of the oven and they smell amazing. I'm going to discard the herbs, and yet I'm thinking maybe I will incorporate them. I'll just see what happens tomorrow. It might be enough that the sage is still there, but the smell in the kitchen is just unbelievably beautiful. Very strong and very herby. I'll show you some more tomorrow when we finish off the Skordhalia. Okay, I'm going to put the Skordhalia together now, and I'm decided that I'm going to roast off or toast two of the components. You can leave them bland, but I think toasting them gives them a little bit of an extra flavour. So I've got some salted cashews and some pine nuts, and I'm just toasting them to give them a bit of a richness. The other ingredients I'm using today are Danish feta, lemon juice, a little bit of gherkin vinegar out of a tin of gherkins, but you can use, you don't have to use that. It depends on how tart you really want your Skordhalia. But I'm using some glaze as well, some balsamic glaze. I prefer the white one, but I've only got the brown one at the moment, so I didn't want to have to buy another one, so I'm going to make use of the dark one. It'll just make the Skordhalia a bit darker, but it won't change the texture too much. Okay, so these are nicely browned now, so I'm going to add these to the beetroot and caramelised onion that I roasted off last night with the thyme, the oregano and the ground sage. Also going to add in the feta. Some lemon juice and some of the glaze. just keep watching how thin it's going. You don't want it runny, but you do want it to hold. So the beetroot colour would be a lot brighter if we didn't use the dark balsamic, but that can't be helped today. It'll taste just as good. I'm going to add a few more unroasted cashews. And there we have our beetroot Skordhalia.